Hello and welcome. I am your host, Kimberly Lovi. I am a wife, a mother of two. I'm a businesswoman, a brand builder, blogger, and podcaster. I'm here to connect with women just like me who want to optimize their life while looking and feeling our best. Together, we will remove limiting beliefs and dream to become our highest and best version of ourselves. We will explore both mental and physical aspects of self-improvement while forming a community, a sisterhood. Before we dive in, please subscribe to my podcast and give me 5 stars. Hello, everyone. This is Kimberly. I am back. I am ready for action, you guys. I've been on a very intentional and long vacation, I'll say. And I want to give you guys an update as to kind of what's been going on, why I needed to pause podcasting, and also let you know that I'm back. I am back, friends. So I'm actually going to bring on my son today. He made a little guest appearance, and so I'm going to actually give you a quick little update as to kind of what's been going on over here and re-engage with you guys. So definitely stay tuned because my son Carter, who is 5 years old, is joining me on the podcast, and he's going to share some exciting news. So I basically just wanted to check in and let you guys know that I had gone through quite a transformation in the last couple months, and I just needed that quiet time to myself to just kind of get my footing and have that clarity and time and space for kind of my next chapter. I was in a transition. I think transitions are very uncomfortable. If anybody out there, I'm sure many people out there have undergone transitions, especially in the last couple of years, whether it's your job, your living situation, your housing, your where you live, relationships, schools, all the things. So I too, probably much like you guys, have had quite the ride. And I really just didn't know where I wanted to take the podcast and my business and motherhood. And it was just a lot. I just needed to have that time undistracted and think about what it is that makes the most sense for me in my next chapters. Kind of rewinding, especially for you new joiners, I had a very big, robust corporate job and was on a very focused career path. You know, I really fought for my career and, enjoyed it. And then kind of over the pandemic decided that I want to be home with my kids. And so I started my own coaching business and enjoyed that and started coaching women on how to build their online businesses, ran this academy that was phenomenal, worked with these women that were phenomenal. And then I just kind of, once I had done that and launched the podcast as well, once I had done all of that, I needed to just pause. And so I was calling this episode in my head, The Power of the Pause. And I knew I was going to have this episode when I came back, but I just needed that time and space without having any influence. I wanted to stop all of the momentum around my business and just really stop and evaluate things and be intentional about what it is I want to be doing with my time. Because any mom out there, especially a busy working mom or just any mom that is, has her hands full running the household and the kids and the husband and all the things, it's a lot. And the one resource that is the most precious truly is time. And I kept getting caught up in these cycles and listening to all these different business coaches talking about, how to automate or how to save time and how to outsource. And I mean, me, myself, I was hacking all of those things too. And also seeing these women that, they're killing themselves. They're getting up at 5 a.m. to carve out time for themselves, and they're beating themselves up for not taking care of themselves and not doing enough in every aspect of their life. And it's just too much, and I didn't want to do that anymore. I didn't want to get caught up in what everybody else seems to be doing in this space. So I actually stopped my social media, stopped my podcast, stopped Clubhouse, stopped everything, because I needed to just think clearly about myself and my situation without any distractions, any outside influence. And if you're feeling like you're in some kind of rat race yourself, I encourage you to pause, turn off your social media, stop doing what you're doing, and just take time to really evaluate exactly where you are and are you happy every day? Okay. It's just that simple. There's no one size fits all answer, but at the end of the day, are you happy? And for me, the corporate job was something that I was always focused on. I was always gunning for, I don't know, just being really, really successful, having a big title, having a ton of success, having clout, having, making a lot of money, being just really working really hard to be able to have the status, and really the outside validation and the traditional validation that I thought I needed. And, I just realized that, at some point, you have to stop and say, at what point is my ego getting in the way? And at what point am I being driven by money? At what point is enough money? Because it's truly endless. I mean, I can pick out my 3 most wealthy, successful friends and look at their circle and see that they've got people that are even more wealthy and even more successful. And it truly is an endless kind of game. So I think it's really important for us to stay grounded, especially as we do continue to be successful and to grow our lives and to grow our families, to just take that pause and make sure that we're being intentional with our time and that we're spending it as wisely as possible. So for me, I was offered, you guys, some really, 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 really lucrative career opportunities. Okay. I really was. Some of which I still continue to ponder because they were just that enthralling. But at the same time, I started to realize that my career is starting to come at the expense of my family. And I could see my kids, it started to feel like my kids were just getting in my way. Okay. And I know that's not lovely to say, but it's the God's honest truth. I would sit there at karate and be on a call or on a conference call and then be rushing home to finish a report or to rush home and basically just get the kids out of my way. And so I could just continue working. And it's like, I almost was just becoming I guess I've always kind of been a workaholic, but I was prioritizing my career over my family. And now that I have given myself permission to change what my life looks like without judgment, I'm so much happier. And I was actually listening to this other podcast and someone said something that was so profound. I want to share it with you guys. And it basically was, I was chasing a dream that no longer served me. I was chasing a dream that no longer served me. When I heard that sentence, it was like, OMG, this is exactly it. That's it. That's what it is. And, I never wanted to stay home with my kids. That was never my dream. That was never my goal. And again, this is not a space of judgment. So please don't come for me. Don't judge. That's not what this is about. It's about understanding that different people have different situations, different options, and different goals. And all of those things are 100% acceptable. And I'm just sitting here encouraging you to not look around and to work with the facts in your particular situation and lean into whatever the fuck feels the best for you. Okay. And for me, that required a lot of reshaping my expectations of myself and my life. And I know there's a lot of women out there that would kill to stay home with their kids, but I just wasn't one of them. That wasn't my goal, my dream, my expectations of myself. And, disappointment often comes when our reality does not meet expectations. And that can be of ourselves. It can be at work. It can be in a relationship. Anytime we have these expectations and we fail to meet them or things don't align with that, it causes quite a bit of grief and disappointment. And so for me, I was kind of almost mourning my corporate career and my business identity because that has been where my identity has been rooted, and my biggest hopes and dreams and goals has been all around my career. And that probably comes from the fact that I didn't come from a lot of money, not to say that we were dirt poor or anything, because that's definitely not the case. But I had to work really hard for everything I've ever had in my life. And it's just, I don't know. It's hard to really put words around my situation, but I can say this, that I really just encourage you to stop comparing, to allow yourself time and space to reevaluate where you are in your life, especially as we're going to start approaching the holidays and New Year's coming up. Like, you're allowed to pivot. You're allowed to change the rules. You're allowed to go after something different. You're allowed to grow and dream and change and rewrite this next chapter. And so for me, the last couple months has been a time where I have been able to quiet down everything, all the noise around me. I've been really, intentional. And that's why I didn't even want to do the podcast, because I felt like, well, it's a business podcast and I don't know if I want to do that. And I didn't want to, for me, it's really important to show up authentically. People know if you're into it and if you're not. So I guess as far as the podcast goes, I love podcasting. I love connecting with people. Sometimes people give me opinions, by the way, that I do not agree with, and I have to really bite my tongue. But that's just part of the game, I think. And, that's just, it is what it is, right? So I will continue to podcast. I have several different podcasts. I have 5 podcast episodes that I didn't publish because I just didn't have it in me. But these have been wonderful guests and really, really incredible people. So I will sit down, edit those podcast episodes and publish them for you guys, and for, in honor of those guests, because they deserve that. They took their time to, work with me, and I want to honor them as well. So I will be publishing probably 5 different podcasts that are going to be a little bit more on the entrepreneur type genre, I'll say. And then really moving forward, I'm just going to take it as it goes. All right. I'm not going to plan it. I'm just going to show up every week or whenever I want, to be honest. Hopefully it'll be every week. And I'm going to connect with you guys. So with that, I hope you enjoy this episode with my sweet little boy. And he is going to share a little bit of an update as well. And we will continue to dive deeper into exactly, specifics around what's been going on around here. But I just thought it would be helpful to give you kind of a, I guess an update or a, briefing on how things have been or where I've been kind of emotionally, and so that you can understand it. And I hope to continue this journey with you guys. You can follow me on Instagram at Kimberly Lovi. If you have any specific questions, please let me know. I'm going to start going deep into a lot of new topics. And so I look forward to continuing the discussion with you guys. Enjoy the episode and rate me 5 stars, and I will talk to you soon. Hello, and welcome back to the Kimberly Lovi podcast. Today, I have one of the most special people in my entire life, and he is, drumroll please, dun, 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 my son, Carter David Lovi. Welcome, son. Thanks for joining me. How are you?
Good.
Hey, son, can you please tell everyone what is your age and what grade are you in?
I'm Carter, and I'm 5 years old, and I'm in kindergarten.
I'm so happy you're joining me, my love. You have the biggest smile. What do you think about being on the podcast?
Good.
So, Carter, my love, we talked about picking a topic, right, for our podcast. Yes. And what was one of the things we wanted to talk about? Should we do the announcement first?
Yes.
Why don't you tell the people that are listening a little bit about our big, happy surprise?
We have a baby.
Yay!
A baby sister.
Oh my goodness.
In the belly. Cute little belly.
Oh. Are you excited to have another baby sister?
Yes.
You're going to be such a good super big brothers, because you're going to have how many sisters now? 2. So you already have one, right? What's your younger sister's name?
Charlotte, and she's in junior kindergarten, and she's 4.
That's true. And she's your best friend, right?
No, she's my best little sister.
Aw. So, son, I think besides that big, exciting news that we are having a baby. When is the baby coming, by the way? After your what?
birthday after I turned 6.
Yes, only about a week after your birthday, the baby girl's coming.
Only after about a week after my birthday.
Yeah, I'm so excited. It'll be the best day ever.
Me too.
The best couple weeks, huh? Because we get Carter's big birthday.
Yeah.
And then the baby.
Too.
Yeah. So, Carter, you and I talked this morning, and we thought it might be interesting to get your perspective, your thoughts on the pandemic, because, you've kind of been like going through this with us, and we really haven't heard from 5-year-olds. So Carter, why don't you share what it is we wanted to talk about today with the people?
What we're going to be discussing about with the pandemic is what it does, and other pandemics, and what their names are, and what it is. That's what we will be discussing about today.
Wow, that's a very, very amazing topic. Thank you for choosing that topic. So go ahead, enlighten us. What would you like to share about the pandemic and other types of viruses?
First, we're going to start off with smallpox and chickenpox. Chickenpox, well, it would give you these bumps on your skin, but then someone made a vaccine that smallpox turned into a dead virus.
Right. So basically there were a couple viruses in the past that now we have vaccines for. Is that right? So smallpox and chickenpox, now we don't get them, right?
Yeah.
Because of the vaccines.
And chickenpox, it would give you these bumps on your skin, and they were very itchy, and if you itched them, then they would give you something even worse.
Mm-hmm. And now you guys keep asking, when is the pandemic over? And so what is the answer? What have we been talking about? The pandemic is over when? When we have what?
When we have the vaccine.
Yep. And they newly came out with the vaccine, and I actually got the vaccine. Have you gotten vaccinated from the coronavirus, from COVID?
No.
No, not yet. And do you want to get the vaccine? Yes or no?
No, I'm scared of every shot.
I know. And can I tell you a secret? Nobody likes shots. So that's a little bit of a tricky subject right now, getting vaccinated. So anyway, what has it been like wearing a mask in school and in sports? Is it bothering you at all, or is it's fine? What do you think?
It's hard to breathe in.
Speak in the mic.
It's hard to breathe in, and it's kind of tricky to answer for a 5-year-old. I don't know a lot of stuff about masks.
That's okay.
So I think we're going to move on from masks to what the coronavirus is.
Okay, go ahead.
The coronavirus, well, there's many of the viruses, and they all, there's all a lot of the viruses, and every time there's one virus, there's a lot of the little objects going around.
Mm-hmm.
Because, the pandemic, the coronavirus, it's this invisible, all of them are invisible, and then it floats around, and it makes people get coronavirus, and it's already made a lot of people got in corona, but luckily a lot of people haven't, like us.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily no one in the family has gotten it.
Yes. We are very lucky, and I'm glad you raised that point. That was a wonderful explanation. It's an invisible virus that makes people sick, and some people have gotten it, and luckily we haven't. And now, let's move on. Do you mind if I ask you a little bit about what it's been like to begin some sports finally? Because we were kind of not doing too much during the pandemic, were we? So
yeah, I just got like 5 baskets.
well, let's tell the people a little bit about that. So before the pandemic hit, you actually had just started your very first sport when you were only 3, which was baseball. And then what happened was the pandemic hit and we had to stop. So we kind of started and stopped that. And then only recently...
I started swim.
Swim first.
I started swim, and I did karate.
Yes.
And now I do basketball.
And before basketball, what did we do right before basketball?
Flag football, but now I'm done doing flag football. And yeah.
Yeah, and so flag football was something that we got to try as our very first team sport, again, aside from our baseball experience. And how'd that go for you? Did you enjoy it? Did you learn? You didn't enjoy it? Tell us.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
So Carter, we did flag football, we learned a little bit about team sports, and then we moved on to basketball, which is what you're in now, right?
On is going to say a few more words, and then we're going to move on to talk about plants.
Okay, so a couple more things about flag football. So I just want to say to all the parents out there and the kids that, sometimes we forget as adults what it's like to be new at something and what it means to really learn from nothing. And so I think what we've noticed is that there's been a lot of kids that finally, after it's become safer again, they have started to do some sports, and it's been pretty hard. And they didn't really understand the concept of, what it means to be in a team. And if you make a bad play, then it doesn't ruin the whole game. And which
it just means you keep on trying. It's not like it's the end of your life.
That's right.
You just have to keep practicing. Like before, I couldn't get any points, but now I can.
Yeah, and how come that's possible? Because you've been doing what? Working really what?
Hard.
Yeah, and practicing
a lot.
Yeah. And has it paid off? Have you improved?
Yes.
How does that make you feel?
Good.
I'm so proud of all your hard work, by the way, son.
Again, I'm gonna say this. It's not just the end of your life when you can't do something.
That's right. It just means you have to keep on
trying. That's
right. I'm so proud of you that you learned that so young. That's such an important lesson, even for adults to remember that, because adults try things and fail too, It's not like we know it all.
Yeah, adults also have to learn.
Of course.
It's not just kids.
That's right.
I mean, adults know a lot, but they still have to keep on learning, trying.
Yes, it's totally true. I hope you never forget that, my son. So, Carter, I just wanted to say again, I'm really proud of all your efforts in your sports. I know it hasn't been easy, but you've already earned your, what belt did you earn in karate?
My yellow belt, white stripe. I mean, it was a hard practice, but I didn't give up, and I got the belt.
I'm so proud of you. That was really hard. I was on pins and needles watching you and Charlotte earn your yellow belt because it's a hard workout. Isn't it really tough?
Very. But for the other higher ranks, it's even a harder test for them, like purple belt, white stripe, and a lot of colored belts, and like purple belt, black stripe, black belt, white stripe.
Yep.
And the belt with no lines. Well, don't get me started with those.
Listen, the better you do, the harder it gets, and you achieve more, right?
Yeah.
So you keep preparing and working harder to get to the next level, right?
Yeah, it's just not like you get a belt every single day you come to karate. It takes time.
Yep, and consistency, right?
It's not like always you get something right away.
That's right. You have to earn it. And you and Charlotte have been doing karate now since, what, March or so? And you guys have been going twice a week for 8 or 9 months.
I would probably say since fall.
Yeah. Well, since spring, once it became safe, we started outdoors and the karate instructors were vaccinated.
And then we moved into the karate studio since the pandemic was starting to calm down.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone was writing down that, I'm actually pretty impressed.
They're taking notes from what you were saying. Son, can you talk a little bit about the different languages that you've been learning over the pandemic and how you have learned to...
Yes, I've been learning Spanish and, French and Japanese.
And why is it important for us to learn different languages, to appreciate people's, different countries and cultures, right?
A lot of stuff.
Yeah. A lot of our friends come from different backgrounds and things like that. So it's been really fun to get to hear our friends use their native languages, right?
Yeah.
Can you say something in either French or count in Japanese or something like that?
Yeah.
You mixed.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good. And in Japanese, one more time.
Ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyu, and ju.
That's awesome. I'm so proud of you, my love. So anyway, Carter, can you tell us a little bit about how your kindergarten goes? What kinds of things are you learning about?
I'm learning math, science, French, how to write on computers. It's a lot of stuff to handle. Hey, really, it's a lot of stuff.
It really is a lot. I'm laughing because that was a mature thing to say. I'm not laughing at you. I think that's a very good point that you make. It is a lot that you're learning. All right, son, I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining me on my podcast. You're the cutest little podcast guest.
You're welcome. And now we will be signing off from room 77.
Or from our house, from the Lovi Shack.
From room 77. She just has a lot to learn. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. I love you, son. All right, that is it for today. Now, as you know, some of our best conversations actually happen after the show. So I want you to find me on Instagram at Kimberly Lovi and let me know your thoughts about today's show. You can screenshot this episode and let us know what your biggest takeaway was and tag me at Kimberly Lovi and we can share it on our stories. I will see you again, same time, same place next week.